grace period as a new test is applied, but I'm sure we will hear that.
I'm assuming the scoring system is different, so it wouldn't necessarily be beneficial to have this data to benchmark against the new data going forward.
Yeah, it will be different and it's kind of apples to oranges, but what this does tell us is we grace periods as a new test is applied, but I'm sure we will hear that.
I'm assuming the scoring system is different, so it wouldn't necessarily be beneficial to have this.
Science, so we have to, deal with that, and then also having we scaffold our curriculum. Again, the 5A coach is going to be instrumental in that as she looks at the students and their skill sets as they develop them. Deb Arnold, who is our new math coach, she's already started off contract this week, being here on campus and already working with one of our new math or our existing math teachers.
Personnel changes.
Personnel changes are next. We have almost everyone hired, with the exception of about 3 people at high school. Really excited about our new hires and actually, as you look down this list, almost all of the elementary have already been attending, all but two have been attending the Artful Learning this week, which is fantastic. We sent the new East teacher to STEM training last week, along with a new science teacher, which is fantastic. We sent them to the Amazing for STEM training. So we've got a great eager group ready to walk on.
What are the 3 positions that are outstanding?
We need a English teacher, we need 1 more math teacher, and we need a social studies teacher.
Do we have a new art teacher?
We did not need another art teacher, so we are figuring out. Miss Valverde, who teaches Spanish, is going to pick up an art class.
Oh,
she's an amazing artist herself. Our digital art teacher is going to pick up some art classes, and so we're able to spread that out. And as we're talking about art, this is Miss Schultz and her students' creation on the stage.
Oh, wow.
It's
That's
all
amazing.
recyclable materials developed by students and collaborative groupings, and you can take it apart. So we're really
cool.
yeah, we're really proud, and she did a great job. And during the last week of school, so she kept the kids engaged, creating this beautiful dragon that has butterflies swimming above its head.
So we came up with the designer. That's pretty cool.
According to Ms. Schultz, they came up with the head first. The students decided on what they wanted to do. They came up with the head first, and then they created the body based on the scale of the head as they went along. So it was progress and collaboration. She had different stages. She said so in her room. So some were working on scales, some were working on shredding up the bottom, the leg parts, and so
That's pretty cool.
yeah, very cool.
Kind of keep it forever.
Yes, beautiful.
Any questions about personnel changes? Okay. Let's see, 4.5, we have high school students of the month. I don't think I received that. There's this job is reading off right here. Then. Okay. Sorry, this is okay. High school students of the month. 7th grade, we have Mia Murillo. 8th grade, Billy Randolph. 9th grade, Isabella Newberry. 10th grade, Tabitha Lance. 11th grade, Aiden Slaughter, and 12th grade, Maddie Matters. So stop and give them all a hand. And then for elementary, give me a second here. Terrific kids for the month of this is June, I'm assuming. Let's see, for 1st grade, we have Astrid Flanagan, Penelope West, Layla Lee, and let's see, that's 1st grade. 2nd grade, we have Damian Suazo, Finn Cassidy, and Soraya Carr. 3rd grade, we have Rosalind Wills, Anna Wayne, and Amarena Wayne. Let's see, oh, sorry, also third grade still, Jude Mock and Lily Danielson. 4th grade, Alexis Cooley, Hunter Mills, Sabrina Enoch and Olivia Mullen. Fifth grade, Ashlyn Muse, Finley Milligan and Tavery Burris. And then kindergarten, Lorelai Watson, Evelyn Ramirez, Breland Livingston, and Wyatt Overstreet Geese. Let's give them all a hand too. Okay. Next item we have is the high school counselor reports from Ms. Foster.
And Ms. Foster is not here.
Okay.
So we'll proceed.
Item number 5, comments from the public. Do we have anybody who signed up for public comment today? I never saw a list of that.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, then we'll move on from there. Item number 6, consent agenda. First would be approving the minutes from our May 16th meeting, the financials, and our enrollment report. So first, the minute. Do we have any questions about the minutes or any modifications need to be made? How about the financials? I looked over and they look in line just like they usually do. Enrollment report.
I was glad to see that we've got more coming in for the
Yeah.
high school than we did the last.
Yeah, that was good to see.
Yeah.
Any questions about any of those 3 items?
No.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
Second.
Okay, so that was Cynthia, who is Susie. Right? Somebody's got to take them. Who it was.
I'm not sure where she went, but I was making a first.
It was the first, and Kara was the second. Okay, all of them.
Hi.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Moving on to item number 7, which is new business. Everybody wanted the approval of the administrative salary schedule.
So the administrative salary schedule is one of the loose piece of paper. And what that is just the updated for the 23-24 school year. And a revision of the length of contract. So the assistant principals, as well as the arts integration, visual performing arts are all on a 210. And then the 190 is our speech therapist. I'm on a 230 and the principal's on a 220. So what we did was reduce the amount of time for our assistant principals to give them a little bit of an extended break. And the secretaries are also reduced because they were at a 230 and we found that that was not necessary to have them sit all summer long. So they're on a 210 as well.
Can I ask a question? I don't know what that means. Oh, number of days. I wasn't sure if it was hours, days. Okay.
Number of days. Yes.
So the changes are essentially just pulling back a little bit on the assistant principal.
Yes.
Is that really?
Yes, and it does not impact
And the secretary.
their salary, it just gives them a little bit more time
Right.
to have someone.
I don't have any questions. Any question? You need a motion to approve?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, I'll take a motion to approve the new administrative salary schedule.
What was the second? I'm sorry.
Marissa.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Marissa, did you first?
Do we have the remote for the TV? If you could just use this TV, I think it'd be better. Item 7.2 landmark, John Evans, draft audit files.
So our auditor with Landmark is here to talk to you a little bit about the audit process. And thank you very much for being here.
You're welcome. Yeah, my name is John Evans. I'm with Landmark TPAs. And we performed the audit for the school for the year ended June 30th, 2022. And just want to go over the results of that audit with you. It was actually, have they received a draft of it?
So
That's
you
fine.
do not have a draft because it's not been finalized,
Right.
so he's just going over his preliminary.
There's actually 4 included in the audit packet, audit report. There's actually 4 audit reports. And I'll briefly discuss each one of those. The first one's on the financial statements themselves, on the numbers, the balance sheet and the income statement. And the schools required under Arkansas law to report on what's called the regulatory basis of accounting, which is different from generally accepted accounting principles, but that's what's required by state law. And our report on the financial statements on the regulatory basis is a what's called an unmodified opinion, which means that things are properly reported in all material respects. So it's a good report on the financial statements. The second report is a report because you receive governmental funds. There's a report on compliance with laws and regulations and on internal control related to those items. Again, there were no findings related to that. So a good clean report on that. And then for the first time last year, because the school received more than $750,000 of federal money, there's an additional audit requirement where you have to select what's called a major program and go into a little more detail as far as checking compliance with laws and regulations related to that major program. A major program that was selected because of the amount of money for June 30th, 22 was the ESSER money, the emergency relief funds. And so we looked into how that money was spent in detail, tested a sample of expenditures, that kind of thing. And pleased to report that there were no findings with regard to that report. The last report is with state laws and regulations. And again, there's a whole series of state laws and regulations that we're required to test compliance with. And the school was in compliance with all of those. So what you're hearing is a short report that everything's good.
That's
Yeah,
good.
it was good for,
We like short.
that's right. That's right. I'd be glad to answer any questions about what we do, the process or anything like that, but the school staff should be commended for how things, from an accounting standpoint, things are good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here.
That's not the issue, Jeff. That's not the issue.
Well, it seems like the sound's only coming out of that one.
Okay.
So that's all right.
It's coming out of the
Go.
speakers above it.
Oh, is it? All right. Well, I turned it off for no reason. Right. Dyslexia update presented by Beth.
Last week, we talked about dyslexia, getting some more information, so that is prepared that information.
So I just kind of wrote it up, kind of like in a plan for next year, and Marissa and I met, so I really zoned in, because she had a lot of questions at the last meeting. So I kind of zoned in, we had like a little brief meeting, so I could answer all of her pertinent questions. But for next year, we are looking at a new program. Currently, we're using Take Flight, and we have Brooke and another therapist that's contracting. So next year, we're looking at doing the Spire program, which I did a lot of research in our area, surrounding schools, and looked to see what program was the most used in the different schools that we would be feeding kids into and getting kids back from. And so that would be the Spire. It had the most people that are using it in the Northwest Arkansas area. So, and then I've coupled up with a girl from Bentonville. She's kind of given me some ropes, and then a girl from Pea Ridge that we're kind of working together. So they've been really, really good to kind of take me and be their mentor, be my mentor. And so they're going to help me set up a team, and we are going to get the training done for our team. So that would mean that the special ed teachers would be trained now. And then a leader would be trained in Spire as well. And we would be able to put the intervention blocks into the regular scheduled intervention time, so that the kids are not missing any core time at all, and they're not having another classroom during the course. So we've got several trainings set up this summer to go to, so we can get some more information about how that all looks and how best to serve our students. Did you have any questions about my presentation?
No, there's a lot of data.
That's Brooke Payne status. She did a great job.
That was great.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
A question, if by the data, it looks like that there was lots of gains made using Brooke and the Take Flight program,
Mhm.
other than the continuity for students who switch. Why the change from Take Flight if we've had such a good program built?
Because the consensus across pretty much everywhere that I spoke with is Take Flight is so isolated and it's very therapeutic and it has to be delivered in a very therapeutic manner, which doesn't really fit a school model per se. With this program, it'll fit into our regular intervention blocks. And that way the kids, right now, the kids are being pulled out of their classrooms. So this will be more like in a generalized overall intervention block of time. And it can be used more fluidly with more people being able to be trained than Take Flight. Take Flight is a very, very specific program. And Spire is on the state approved list. So I just I basically pulled the list up, looked for our surrounding areas, who's been having the most success with what they're doing, and then went from there. So lots of phone calls, lots of talking, not just because it fits better, but it is a good program. It's in its fourth revision. I just talked to a lady from the head of dyslexia at the State Department. And she said that they actually had reviewed that program, the third edition, and made a lot of changes to it to make it more specific to our needs. And they're coming out with the fourth edition now. So we'll be able to get the fourth edition that's been updated and new and improved.
Just sort of operationally, will Brooke and the team, at least I know there's going to be changes at the high school campus, will they still operationally? I just know it's important for kids who are getting services to have some continuity of people who've been providing services and support, and they've done such an amazing job there.
Mhm.
And, across both campuses, are we going to be able to continue that, especially with the change in programs for kids who've maybe been in Take Flight for a little bit?
Right, so we'll have the continuity of Brooke still being on staff. We won't have Lisa and Sandra any longer. They had such limited hours and they were not full time, so it's hard to really spread them out. So Brooke's gonna start out up here at the high school, get those numbers corrected and see what kids really through a reassessment. So we're gonna do a reassessment of their current skill level and see where they are after they've had all these years of, programming. And that's our first step. And then after we see that, then we'll do pre-assessment data for the Spire and we'll go from there. But we won't, they would still be able to use their skills that they learn, of course, in Take Flight. But I think that they would probably move over nicely to the Spire program as well. But yes, Brooke will still be here. And then we're looking at people that we already have on staff, just reprogramming them to be, so it'll still be our staff that we already know, so we can move them over to providers of the Spire program. And the Spire program is a little more friendly to the para-level staff, which is another plus for the surrounding schools, because you can't really find enough Take Flight people that want to work full time. So that's why. Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Moving on to item 7.4, that is the introduction of our newest school board member. That's Mr. Mark Evans over here. Mark's going to be joining the board officially in our July meeting. So that'll be his first meeting. So he gets to show up today and look and see what he's getting into firsthand. Mark, would you mind just standing and maybe tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so Mark Evans, about myself, construction background, lived here my whole life. Been at this school since kindergarten with my daughter. So watched it grow, watched it change. And really super excited to have an opportunity to contribute to this school, just being a parent, observing, now I have an opportunity to contribute. And they gave me some homework and I realized I have a lot of respect for what these folks do. And I'm honored to serve.
We appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, item number 8, is there any discussion, any new items since the publication of the agenda?
I will like to have Rachel come up and she has a new staff member to introduce, and I'm so sorry I didn't that when we had the personnel.
I have a new assistant principal. Her name is Dr. Erin McGar. She is not here today. Her mother's in the hospital. So she wanted to be. She was at our PD yesterday. She's met the whole staff. She's already one of us. That is definitely one thing Artful Learning does. It makes you very close, very fast. But she has a background in literacy. She has a background in middle school and elementary. She's fantastic. And she fits right in to our staff already. So as soon as she's able, she will come and meet everybody.
So it was Aaron Bagar.
Erin McGar.
Bagar.
It's McGarr.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, but we're very excited.
That's excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item 9, we do have a need to adjourn to an executive session, so I'll go ahead and make that motion. Thank you. Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, let's go ahead and adjourn to executive session.